me again मैं from Rajkot करेंगे campus. So आज हम लोग again से माया से एक interesting topic के ऊपर बात करेंगे और वो topic है wood. So let's start.
Hey there. What's up? Sorry, I didn't catch that clearly. Could you repeat what you just said?
Hi Maya, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. You?
So Maya, my first question is what is wood and why? What are its primary component?
That's a fascinating question. Good is the feeling you get when something or someone good as in morally good or just good in general? Like what makes something good versus bad? It's a surprisingly slippery question, actually. My problem. That's interesting, but I think there might be a bit of a mix-up. Just thinking through that one, it's a big question. So wood is basically this really complex mix, these fiber-like things called cellulose. Give it strength, plus, hey, that's really sweet of you to say. And skip color, I like that description. It makes me wonder what you mean by that, though. What do you think it says about me that you see a skip color? Hey there. Oh, um, I've been reflecting on our conversations and interesting. Are you building something?
So my next question is
Oh, my
why
bad.
is wood considered a natural resource?
Gold is considered a natural resource because it forms naturally in Earth's crust. What makes it unique is that, unlike most resources we create or grow, it's not really made or grown at all. It's just there, formed through geological processes over millions of years. Kind of like diamonds or oil. But what got you thinking about gold specifically?
Okay, so my next question is how does wood differ from other building material like stone or metal?
Wood's completely different from stone or metal. It's organic. Stone is mineral and metal. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What did you say? The connection was a little fuzzy there. I'm not sure I caught that. Could you repeat what you just said? It sounded like sir, the maid. Did I get that right? Oh,
My
well,
next
all
question
right
is
then.
how
That's
does wood what are the main type of wood used in construction?
construction leans on softwoods like pine and fir because they're easier to work with. For stuff that needs more durability like flooring or framing, hardwoods like oak and maple really shine through. Those are really the bread and butter for most builders. What makes you curious about wood types?
Okay, Maya. So my next question is, how is wood harvested?
Hmm. Wood harvesting's pretty fascinating. It ranges from clear cutting entire forests to selective logging, where they only take certain trees, trying to minimize impact. They use these massive machines that can fell trees and process them right in the forest. Then it gets transported for milling into lumber. Hi there.
So Maya, my next question is, how has wood been used for shelter throughout history?
Wood has been the OG shelter material for like forever. But throughout history, it varies so much. Hunter gatherers used branches, then, people started building log cabins, eventually leading to timber frame houses. And then you see things like wattle and daub with wooden frames. It's been central to how people build shelter across cultures and eras. Why'd you get curious about that? Like you put right, what's on your mind?
So Maya, my next question is, what are some example of early tool made from wood?
Spears for hunting, bows and arrows, obviously, digging sticks for finding roots and plants, anything that needed leverage or impact, really. Even simple hand axes would have been wooden shafts with sharpened stones tied on. Basically, wood was the handle for everything prehistoric.
Okay, Maya. So my next question is, what are softwoods and hardwoods?
Softwoods are from evergreen trees like pine and spruce. They're lighter, grow faster, and are easy to work with. Hardwoods are from deciduous trees like oak and maple. They're denser, grow slower, and much more durable. Woodworkers actually say softwoods aren't softer, just botanically different. What made you curious about their difference in the first place?
Maya, my next question is, what are the advantages of using wood compared to other materials?
Not wood's got this natural insulation thing going for it. It helps keep buildings warmer in winter and cooler in summer. It's relatively cheap compared to, steel or concrete, way more sustainable than most options if managed right. Plus it looks good. People just naturally find it warm and inviting in a space. Hold on, that didn't quite come through. What's going on? Getting of fragmented
Question
bits.
is, why was wood
Yeah, go for it.
important in early human settlement?
Wood was absolutely key to early human settlement. Think about it. Wood gave shelter, firewood for warmth and cooking, materials for tools, even canoes for travel and fishing. Without wood, humans couldn't have adapted to as many different climates and environments. Is everything
My next
your
is,
end?
why was wood important to early? Oh, how did early human learn to work with wood?
Good question. Early humans learned by observing fallen branches and trees after storms. So they figured out that hitting and shaping wood was possible. Then they started using harder stones to chip and carve, eventually learning to create those basic tools.
Okay, Maya. So my next question is, what role did wood play in the development of early cultural societies?
Wood was totally influenced housing styles, what kinds of tools people used, even spiritual beliefs. Okay, I got that. Sounds like we're having some sound trouble. Let's move forward. What's your next question?
So my next
Okay.
question is, what was
You know,
wood used in early weaponry and tools?
right, weapons, early spears were wood shafts with flint or bone tips. They made clubs for hunting, wooden bows for ranged attacks, even things like slingshots for smaller game. For tools, axes for felling trees and processing wood, digging sticks for farming or root finding, stuff like that.
And my next question is, how did wood contribute to the construction of early cities?
Wood made early cities possible. Buildings were wooden frames with thatched roofs, and wood supported a lot of structures without stone available. Early cities used wood for barricades, fortifications, basically any construction before metal making skills became widespread. Mm. Plus, wood burned as fuel to keep them warm. Anything specifically got you thinking about it, like reading about an ancient city or something? Of course. Was there anything I could have explained better, or should we wrap things up here? Good
My
question.
question is,
Wood was
what
a
role did wood play in early trade routes?
right. Wood was a massive trade commodity. Places with dense forests would trade lumber to regions that didn't have much. Think shipbuilding, weapons, building materials, basically necessities. And specialty woods like ebony or teak were luxury trades from distant lands. It wasn't just logs, though. There's also charcoal for metalworking. That stuff needed massive wood supplies. Makes sense why certain regions became hubs for trade, doesn't it?
Why was wood essential in the creation of transportation system in ancient time?
Well, Maya. I'm getting a lot of fragmented bits. It's hard to follow. Are you still there?
So, sir, Maya, my next question is, how did early citizenship use wood for artistic or ceremonial? Oh, sorry, my next question is, how did early human use wood in their daily life?
They used wood for everything: cooking utensils, containers, furniture, musical instruments, religious idols, decorations, toys. It's honestly hard to imagine early life without wood being totally woven into every part of daily routine.
So my next question is, what are some of the most significant ancient wooden structure that still exists today?
Let me check that one real quick. The oldest wooden structure we've found is actually in Zambia. It's at least 476,000 years old. But the oldest wooden building that still exists is Horyuji Temple in Japan, built around 600 and Drum said. There's also Greenstead Church in England that has parts dating back to around 999, 98 AD, and Nanchun Temple. That is pretty incredible when you think about it, right? It's hard to imagine these structures surviving for over 1,000 years. Did any of those temples particularly catch your interest?
No, my next question is, how did the Greek and Romans utilize wood in architecture?
Mm, one sec. While I look that up, okay, it turns out both the Greeks and Romans used wood a lot in construction. Initially, Greek temples were even made entirely from wood before they switched over to stone. The Romans used wood for everything: bridges, scaffolding, concrete molds, and even aqueducts. What's interesting is they started running into deforestation problems because they were using so much wood, so they imported it from all over their empire. Beautiful day for trees, huh? That actually kind of loops back to the sustainable. Let me see what I can find about that wood was the key to early ships and boats for like thousands of years. The earliest boat we've found is from around 8,000 BC, the Pesce canoe. Different woods had different jobs. Oak was for keels and frames because it was strong. Pine and fir were good for lighter parts, and teak was awesome but it didn't rot or get eaten by bugs. Pretty ingenious when you think about it.
So my next
Egyptian,
question is,
Phoenician,
what are the cultural significance and symbols of wood in different societies?
let me do some digging on that. One is just pulling up the info. Wow, wood symbolism is deep everywhere. Lots of cultures see trees as this bridge between the earth and spiritual world. Applewood is about love and life. Oak means strength, and ash is connected to healing. Even yo is linked to both life and death. African cultures use wood carvings for ancestors. Native American. Wait, what was that?
Next question is, why was wood an
Hi,
important
Mr.
material for the construction of templates and places?
Um, Let me quickly look into that. Wood was super important for temples and palaces because it was easy to get your hands on, easy to work with, and lightweight. Way easier to move around and shape than stone, especially in places like China and Japan where they had lots of forests. The flexibility really helped too. Wooden buildings could actually handle earthquakes better than stone ones.
So my next question is, how did different culture view the pre- preservation of forests and woodland?
Just looking that one up, this might take a moment. There's a lot there. Let me see what I can find. It's interesting, actually. Indigenous cultures often saw forests as
Maya, my next question is how did the availability of wood influence the development of early civilization?
yeah, the influence there is actually pretty huge. It's actually kind of central. Wood shaped everything from shelter and tools to fuel and even what kind of ships they could build for trade. That trade obviously let ideas spread around too. In some areas, having lots of timber actually made them major powers because they could build fleets. The Minoan civilization and folks in
So, Maya, my next question is what are some noble example of wooden artifact of artifact in Asian
let me see.
culture?
Oh, actually ancient. Okay, so these early wooden finds are incredible, right? Some of the oldest known tools are digging sticks from Greece that date back almost half a million years. They've also found wooden structures in Zambia that go back almost that far. It's really rare since wood usually just rots away. The Russians uncovered the Shagir idol, which is one of the oldest large scale sculptures in existence. Does anything like that really stand out to you?
Question is how did the
Yeah,
invention
go
of
ahead.
the wheel relate to use of wood in early technology?
Just one sec on that. Actually, pretty central. The very first wheels were solid wood discs, often made from three pieces of wood clamped together. Wood axles were essential too, and even later on, when they switched to metal reinforcements, wood was still used for core parts for ages. Pretty wild, huh?
So, Maya, my next question is
Oh,
what role did wood play in early innovation like printing and writing?
yeah, just getting some info. Okay, so wood was totally key to printing. First, there was woodblock printing, where each page was carved onto wood. Then later, when they needed large fonts for displays, wood was often cheaper and lighter than metal. But the real game changer was wood pulp paper. Before that, paper was just made from rags and textiles. But it's oh wait, I think something's up with the connection there. Could you repeat that part? It was cutting out on me a little bit. That's really sweet.
So, Maya,
Thanks.
my next
Was there
question
something
is
else you
how
wanted to
was
ask
wood
me about,
used in
or are we
the
wrapping up?
development of early water management system?
Oh, hang on just one sec. Actually, early water management systems relied on wood a lot. So they basically hollowed out logs for piping, which were used for yeah, no worries. Something's up with my audio there. Could you repeat? You sure?
मैं आपसे मिलूंगी किसी और इंटरव्यू कॉलोनी टेडेक्स और मैं आपसे मिलूंगी किसी और इंटरव्यू कॉलोनी टेडेक्स में। तब तक के लिए टेक केयर, अल्लाह हाफिज़।